Hi, everyone. My name is Rita Crompton, also known as the Inventor Lady, and host of Invent America Radio that airs across America every Saturday afternoon. I was asked to put together a program that helps parents, teachers, and guidance counselors better understand intellectual property and what you need to be aware of before the science fair, the invention convention, and a lot of the other programs that get done out there. And yet afterwards, you realize you've made a public disclosure with someone's intellectual property. So let's start with that. What is a public disclosure? All right. It's when you go out there and you talk about a science project, whether it's just the local school or at a community event. You might do some video, you post it out there, a student does a podcast. That is an enabling disclosure. It's part of the public domain. And somebody else sees it. They think, oh, this is a cool idea. And the next thing you know, you see your student's project in the marketplace. And you go, wait a minute, didn't we do that? Well, you did. But that public disclosure kind of put it out there for anyone else to use it and take it. So what do you need to do before the science fair? Well, when something's coming up and you see that your student is working on a cool gadget, a cool new project, a solution to something that people have been facing and dealing with, great. And sometimes you go, oh yeah, seen that out there, but have a good time with it. Happens all the time. Using somebody else's intellectual property for a science project, no big deal. Like I said, happens all the time. It's not until you think that you got something you might want to sell that could be infringing. So what do you do? All right. So now you take another look at that science project or invention that your student is taking to a fair somewhere and say, do we have something new and novel here? Let's get a search done. A comprehensive independent search is kind of a tool that we suggest inventors use. It's not done by a patent attorney, all right? Kind of a conflict of interest for them to do the search. They want to write the patent. When they do the search, they get to frame the conversation. You've heard frame or be framed. This is definitely one of those times. You want to get the search done. They're about $500 for an independent, comprehensive patent and product search. There's a 2.5-year blind spot at the USPTO. And a lot of times you can find different videos that have been done, posted on Facebook, YouTube, somebody doing a podcast, and putting intellectual property out there as a project that's being worked on. All right. So then you can decide, okay, it's already out there. If I can find it, so can anybody else. You move on with the project and don't worry about it. But now you didn't find anything. And so you have that professional search done. The searcher doesn't find anything. And then you take now another look at it and you say, okay, maybe we should file some intellectual property on this, protect it, see what we have. Well, you've got a science fair coming up, so you have a date that you've got to meet. Getting a provisional patent filed is generally not a big deal. A registered patent attorney, and yes, you could do it yourself. Legally, you can. Doing your own patents like doing your own brain surgery. By the time you realize you've made a mistake, it's too late to fix it. Don't go there. If it's worth filing, it's worth doing it right and having a registered patent attorney. Call me. All right. Rita@inventorlady.com. Easy email. Phone numbers out there everywhere. I do answer my phone, even at weird times of the day. So ask, get the information you need to make good decisions. All right, so now we're at the point where you think, okay, let's get filed. What's next? Well, your student would have been making basically a proof of concept prototype to get the project to the science fair or the invention conventions. That's usually good enough to have been used for filing a provisional patent application. You're going to have time after that to do some additional development, take another look at things. How broad can we make it? At that point, you can take a deep breath. And let's face it, you know what? The student is going to hand this project off to you, mom and dad, guardian, whatever, sometimes a teacher, and say, you run with it, all right, because I've got another class to go to. I've got proms coming up, all right, they're busy, all right, school's coming up, graduation, next class, next project for science fair. You know what? They come around every year, and it takes more than that to get a product teed up for the marketplace. But as we're going through this for parents, all right, what's your best bet? Well, if you feel your student really has something and you had the search done and the provisional patent filed, now we look at doing a licensing agreement. I mean, you had a life before science project. You want to get back to it. What's the easiest way to do that? Yes, it is going to cost some money, but when we can tee it up for licensing, somebody else is going to make it, sell it, and send you a royalty check. Oh, that might pay for college. Sometimes not, but hey, partial payment's good, better than nothing, right? And so when we're looking at things for the parents to take over, being able to look at licensing as an option. So, most parents don't want to set up manufacturing and become marketing experts themselves. Like I said, you had a life before a science project, but you want to make the most out of this brilliant idea. I mean, our students are going to inherit the earth. They're going to solve the problems. And we want to give them every opportunity to do it. And sometimes at this point, at this young age, being supportive, getting it to a patent attorney, getting the good prototypes done, that's the best we can do for them. And without that help, it gets lost. It gets lost. And somebody else, the next thing you know, is picking up on a podcast, solving the problem, and you're going back and looking and saying, I think we could have done this. Don't look at it from behind. Look at it going forward. Be there. Ask the questions. And if you need some help, ask me. I'm the Inventor Lady.